I didn't.
The Bloodied Condition, originally from 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, is used to signify how a creature is faring in combat scenarios. A creature becomes bloodied when they reach half their hit point maximum, rounded down, which acts as a way of communicating the state of the ongoing battle of the opponent with the players.
Telling the players the creature they are fighting is bloodied shows them how far along in the fight they are and whether they should be planning to retreat or going in for the kill.
Today, we discuss a product that includes clever details and features to deliver a dynamic battle in your D&D game. Join us today as we talk Bloodied and Bruised from our friend Ann Gregersen, a creator we have featured on our show multiple times.
Yes, I love Ann. I'm glad to talk about our product today. We want to say hello and welcome to all of you here at Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure. Now, let's get into it, shall we? The purple is you.
No,
I'm purple. Yeah.
Oh, you're purple. Damn it.
The Bugbear Chief nurses a gushing wound in her side before issuing an order to retreat to her allies.
A bright light forms around the angel's dying corpse, blinding everyone near as it passes on from the world of the living.
With blood streaming down its torso, an enraged hill giant slams its fist into the ground and causes the very earth itself around it to quake.
Absolutely. Bloodied and Bruised is a series providing new combat actions for creatures in the 5e roster. When pushed to their limits in combat, these monsters, critters, fiends, foes gain new abilities that can aid them in the battle, or perhaps spell their doom depending on the circumstances. Bloodied and Bruised takes inspiration from the Bloodied Condition in 4e, making entirely new combat actions that can completely change the nature and dynamic of the fight.
In addition, Bloodied and Bruised also introduces several death throws into the game.
Yes.
Marking the demise of certain creatures with a grand explosion, heavy fall, or other unique effects to make the slaying of a great monster a truly unique experience.
Not lie.
Or like one from our video game in the NES era.
I was looking through a lot of the monsters. I got like 4 of them picked out,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the death throws I've seen are just not fair.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. Now, if you're following us for the first time, thank you for joining us, and please take a moment to hit that follow or subscribe or whatever button, whatever platform you're following us on. If you're joining us again after continuing to join us repeatedly, thank you so much for your time and your patronage. It really means a lot to us. Now, let's get into it. I am super excited to talk about this, you guys. We have picked several of our favorite features out of this product, but my God, Ann really knocked it out of the park with Bloodied and Bruised Monster Manual. If you're watching on TikTok, come and join us on YouTube. You can get a live feed as we're scrolling through this a little bit. Now, the first thing we kind of talked about already, 4th edition. I know that some people dislike it because it's not a great D&D game, but is a really great tabletop game.
They're nuts.
Yeah. And because of that, a lot of us that are writing D&D content have been taking a lot of inspiration from 4th edition because there was some things that it just did right. And one of those things, in my opinion, is the Bloodied Condition. And obviously, Ann agrees. If you haven't followed Ann, she has made some amazing content. Gesh's Guide to Making Things, Monster Loot, Wanted, Dead or Alive, Surviving the Apocalypse. So many great products, which I think we've covered most of them on the show at some point. So make sure to follow the link in the dibbly-doo or on our website, on our blog for the Bloodied and Bruised show notes. So as you can see in here, as we're scrolling through, this covers every monster in the monster manual. Now, I do want to point out that there are some monsters that don't get bloodied features because they are likely to die in one hit anyway.
Cool.
So she just kind of went over those, but the vast majority of these have some fantastic details. So how about we scroll through this massive list and pick out some of our favorites. Brandon, now let's make sure it is clear that the Bloodied Condition, as far as a mechanic, has actually been implemented in 5th edition and a couple monsters, but they don't give it a new condition. It's just a feature of the monster, which is, I think, them kind of playing with it. But that being said, oh crap. That being said, I'm not supposed to say that no more. I say it too much. So there's a lot that gets added to this. I'm not going to go into the details of all the extra differences. Death throws is very much something that's represented in some creatures, such as the Mephit, and she talks a little bit about that, where it dies and they go kaboom. She has added a variety of new features of that. So before we get into the specifics, what are some things that you guys thought just really stood out about this product?
Well, I do think it adds more dynamic options to combat, which is something that we've already harped upon. And let's be real here. A lot of players love combat. 4/5 of the rules for this game are about combat.
Yes, there's no denying that.
With the product itself, I love the fact that all the monsters are in alphabetical order. And
Hallelujah.
they're not by CR or anything like that.
Yeah. Wizard, take note that she actually categorized the stuff better than I think Wizards of the Coast does, in my opinion. But that's just that's Justin's opinion. So the layout of this book and the artwork and stuff looks really good. The fact that it's bloodied and bruised and you got like red blood splotches everywhere is on point. So we had a few of the monsters of our own that we really wanted to talk about. I know that I did. Is there any ones you guys wanted to go to first before I move on to some of our specifics?
I had 4 that I found. There's one I did want to look at because I thought it was interesting, and there was one that I just thought was just unfair.
Which one's that? Let's go look at that one.
The unfair one is the Tarrasque.
The Tarrasque.
I think she may have made it accidentally a little stronger.
Accidentally, it's a Tarrasque. It's supposed to be terrifying.
And
page 69.
Well, let's be real. Let's be real here too. The Tarrasque needed help.
It needed some rain shit. What it needed. Is that what you gave it? I don't remember.
It's down. There it is.
There it is. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
First off, when bloodied at 338 HP, which is
ridiculous,
hilarious. The Tarrasque has the following features: frailty,
yes,
chipped shell. This is a.
Can you tell us about frailty?
This frailty.
Do you know what the mechanic is?
I do not know the mechanic.
Basically, she added weaknesses to monsters.
Yeah.
When they're bloodied, which is what this is.
That's what this was. This definitely helps the players to hit them. It's a chipped shell. While bloodied, the Tarrasque's natural armor becomes damaged, lowering its AC by 2. So it does make it easier to hit. But it has the new ability, which is what I think is just not right. A new ability. It can't be killed. While bloodied, if the Tarrasque fails its saving throw against a spell or effect that would kill it instantly, such as a disintegrate spell, the spell or effect instead deals no damage. If the Tarrasque loses a limb or body part, the lost portion regrows in 1d6 minutes.
Holy shit.
Detached pieces dies and decays normally. The Tarrasque is also immune to all diseases and curses. New ability, regeneration. While bloody, the Tarrasque regains 30 hit points at the start of its turn as long as it has 1 HP. The Tarrasque dies only if it starts its turn with 0 HP.
Dude!
And its strength. It gets increased speed. While bloodied, the Tarrasque speed is 60 feet instead of 40.
Dude, she totally just screwed over everyone that says, I can kill a Tarrasque with an Aarakocra with Eldritch Blast.
Bitch, come here. Nom, 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 nom.
That's what everyone says. Oh, I can just fly away and blast it repeatedly. And this kind of deals with it. Now, it's important to know, usually regeneration stops when they take fire damage. It doesn't say that.
No.
Like, at all. So that's terrifying. Like, how do you even beat it then?
You got to make sure it's at 0 HP before the start of his next turn.
Wow. So you have to continually do at least 30 points of damage or it'll just stay alive.
Yep.
That's savage. I like that. Now, as cool as that is, let's talk about some monsters that are more likely to get some love and engagement.
The other one I was
the
talking
game.
about was the Spectre.
You know what page that is?
It's just above the next page. Right there.
Spectre.
Because I like the Spectre. I like using it. It's fun.
What do you like about the Spectre?
The fact that it can raise dead around it. I think
does it turn the people it kills into them, or does it just res them? I forgot.
I can't remember if it's a Wraith or a Spectre that does that.
Yeah, anyways, so what is this ghostly creature's powers?
All right, so the Spectre one bloodied at 11 HP. The Spectre has the following features: frailty. Okay, so it's
not bad.
Oh,
you're
good. It's failed in defense. Torn shape. While bloodied, the Spectre's speed is lowered by 10 feet to a minimum of 5 feet, and its AC is lowered by 1. Of course, making it easier to hit. So, it's death throw. Death's embrace. A cold wind gusts out from where the Spectre was, engulfing everyone nearby in a mournful embrace.
Oh.
Creatures within 10 feet of the Spectre, when it dies, must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom save. or gain one
Gain a level of exhaustion. I love it.
What the guy fed your sentence, man?
Now, this is why I like Spectrin's book, because what if you're not fighting one? What if you're fighting 3 of them, and one character already has level exhaustion? That's potentially 4 levels in one fight.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I love that. That is because by giving, if they fail this and they get levels of exhaustion, anything left that they're fighting just got significantly harder to beat.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that is terrifying. And the Spectre is a relatively low level monster, isn't it?
Yep.
Like what?
The Gynosphinx?
The
Gynosphinx?
It's a female sphinx.
So the Spectre is only a CR1. So if you sent 8 of these at high level players and they failed their saving throw, it could cause them to die, which how humiliating would that be? Holy crap. That's terrifying. I love it. What about you, Ian?
Well, needless to say, when we were talking about which creature jumps out at us, I went straight to orcs.
Okay.
Because of course I did.
Which page are we talking about?
I have no idea. It's new about them.
Well, let me see if I can find. Oh, why isn't the Control F working?
It does, but
well,
Fork.
that's terrible. That's not gonna work.
Fork. It's full. Fork's full.
All right, as you can see, I mean, some of these are pretty.
It's alphabetical. Just go to O.
That's where I was at. L, M, N, O. O after L.
Y, M, N. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going the right direction.
All right. Since I'm already there.
Whatever,
I
dude.
saw Mimic. I didn't read Mimic yet.
Time to go.
Yeah. Orcs. The plain old regular orcs, they become bloody when they're down to 7 HP. But their trigger ability is Rush Attack.
Yes!
As a reaction, when first bloodied, they can run up to their speed and then make one melee attack without provoking opportunity attacks.
Dude, she gave the orc surprise, motherfucker! Oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah. The War Chief, bloodied at 46. New ability, Repositioning. As a bonus action when bloodied, the orc can command one of his allies to reposition. The creature can use its reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. It too has the rush attack ability.
My goodness.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a common theme here.
So I have to ask the audience, everyone that's in there, so far, what are your impressions of this? Because the goal is to make the game more dynamic and engaging, and having triggers and effects that go off on somebody else's turn, which is kind of like why I like legendary actions. This really takes to a next level. Andrew says, Spectres could also make the exploration leg extra difficult. A haunted frozen mountain pass that keeps everyone exhausted. Oh, shit, time to get wrecked. I think this is just great. And especially we see it with the orcs where they're getting their ass kicked, but they get an opportunity to go wreck some stuff before they die. Because let's be honest, there's a long amount of stuff that can happen before their turn comes back around. Mm-hmm. So giving them that little extra oomph is definitely a way, and it'll be a surprise to the player. I mean, could you guys imagine being level 4 and running into, a horde of like 6 orcs, not thinking much, hit them, and then with a small like weak fireball, and then they all just rush. Yeah, like all of them rush towards the wizard and just boom, wreck him.
Here goes the pain train, mother.
Woo woo, woo woo. I love it.
Check it.
This is so far one of my my favorite products that we've covered, because once again, as a fan of 4th edition, I just love it. But more importantly, the one thing that 5e arguably lacks is complex monsters. Now, that is a design decision because they want the DM to be able to easily run monsters, but this is something that you can easily toss, and you don't have to give every monster this. Maybe you want to set your orc up as a squad leader, so maybe you give him or him or her the bloodied feature, right? So you got one orc that's basically the same as all those rest of them statistically wise, right? But they might have a slightly different weapon compared to the rest, and they're given orders, and then they have this ability. So I think it's a really great way to make monsters stand out, even if you want to include them against higher players. Once again, orcs can kind of go out of rotation pretty quickly. So giving at a higher level against higher level party, being able to toss this feature in and toss a swarm of at them will catch them by surprise because it won't be the orcs that they're typically used to seeing. Now, if anybody in the audience has or any of Crit Nation has a question, drop it in the link below, and our producer will pop it up, and we'll try to answer any questions you might have. As we kind of,
That was cool.
What's the one?
The gray ooze.
The gray ooze.
Gray ooze.
Strength bludgeoning resistance. While bloodied, the gray ooze is resistant to bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
It makes you think that as you're hitting it, you're spraying ooze around the walls and stuff. But as it gets smaller, it gets more compact and hard, so it's not taking as much hits from the bludgeoning.
Let's look at an iconic monster. I'm a big fan of the Beholder. So let's take a gander at that. Well, no, most people don't really fight a lot of those monsters. What about a hill giant? We got a hill giant somewhere. Let's type this in. Hill giant. That was one that I think becomes pretty common in battles pretty regularly. So the hill giant is a pretty cool one. At 52, it's bloodied. It gets frailty, frustrated. This is so on theme for a hill giant, right? They're simple-minded. They'll get angry when things aren't going their way. So I also love that she really went on theme with these, and they're not out of they're just not random things that the monsters can do, right? So the first one is frailty. Frustrated. The giant is frustrated by its injuries. At the start of each of its turns, it must succeed on a DC 10 wisdom saving throw or attack whatever creature is closest to it. If two or more creatures are within the same distance of the giant, it chooses the target at random.
So that could be allies.
Yes, it could.
Just go
and just start smashing wildly. This is very much giving the hill giant a Hulk feel, right? It gets down to halfway, and now it's just furious, and it starts slamming and bashing and beating whatever it can the whole time. Next, we give it a new ability called Ground Smash. As an action, while bloodied, the giant can hit the ground at its feet, making the earth shake. Ooh, I just love the feel of that. Each medium or smaller creature standing within 15 feet of the giant, when it hits the ground, must succeed a DC 16 dex save or fall prone. After using this ability, the giant can make a single attack as a bonus action. This is really cool. I think we have something similar in our Capes and Crooks where you can smash the ground and cause like a trembling cone effect, right? And then they get to beat them. So for those you don't know, when you're prone, you are very weak because any melee attack has advantage on you. So if this thing is flailing out of control and batching the ground and making people fall down, I imagine the minions that are with him are going to, beat them down. Mm-hmm. We got a really good question from Jeremy asking, how are goblins in this book? We'll get to that right after this, just for you, my man. Also kobolds.
Second the goblin question. Also kobolds, yeah.
Okay, so death throws. Timber! How appropriate. The giant falls in a random direction provided it isn't prone. Roll a d8 to determine which direction it falls. When it dies, the area where it lands becomes difficult terrain and the giant takes up a 15-foot square space. Each creature standing in the air must make a DC 15 dex saving throw. On a failed, the dead giant lands on top of them. The creature takes 5d6 bludgeoning damage, is knocked prone, and is restrained under the giant's body. The creature must use an action and 10 feet of movement on its turn and make a DC 17 strength athletics check, freeing itself from beneath the giant's crushing weight. If the creature succeeds on the dexterity saving throw, it takes no damage and isn't knocked prone, but is pushed 5 feet out of the giant's space. A creature cannot move or chooses not to move, suffers the consequences of a failed save. How awesome is that, you guys?
Very nice.
It makes me think of Fat Bastard.
Was that Mini-Me he was going over top of?
I think so.
Oh my gosh, God, we're old.
Goblins. Go to goblin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the giant? What?
Yep. The giant was pretty solid.
I like that.
All right. And spoilers, as we said, there's some creatures in here that are just plain squishy. So the kobolds, they have no entry because they're not going to be alive long enough for this to actually matter. And for the goblins themselves, they have no blade features. So for the goblin boss, who gets the hit and run ability at 10 HP.
Oh, there it is.
When bloodied, the goblin boss can hit a creature with a melee attack, which doesn't provoke until the start of his next turn. For opportunity attacks, that is, so he can run away.
So and
Melee attack.
like I said,
What's that?
Ian already pointed it out. Some of the monsters that are just too weak don't get bloodied features because they don't last. But you can totally take one of these existing features and apply it to any creature. And I think that's where a DM is really going to get the most out of this book. For instance, we talked about the orcs. When they entered bloodied, they get to move and make an attack. You can easily give that to goblins or kobolds as well. I think the gnolls actually have one. So the gnolls actually have one that you could apply to goblins or kobolds as well.
And give my kobolds have like 5 HP. So
they don't last very long.
No.
Timber as a mechanic works well if your players decide to go lumberjack and fell trees for the wood.
Yep.
So Andrew's already included that, hey, this effect can be applied to something else that's not a monster, an environmental effect, which I think is great. I do think so I mentioned the gnoll here because I think this one could technically be applied to other ones if they survived, which is strength sprint attack. When bloodied, it moves up to 20 feet in a straight line and then hits a creature with a melee attack. The attack deals 1 extra die of damage. So that actually is stronger than the orc one, isn't it? I'm trying to think of what else I got here. There was another one I wanted to talk about here before. Oh, I'm losing my page. Oh, it's because I opened another tab. All right, so one of the other monsters that I really, really liked was the Iron Golem. Well, we're kind of running out of time here. Maybe will that be probably be the last one?
Fast.
I think. Yeah, it went by fast, didn't it? So let's go look at the Iron Golem. Unless the audience wants to see something, is there any particular monster you want us to see us cover in the Bloodied and Bruised Monster Manual from Anne?
Did she cover dragons?
Yeah.
I haven't read any of those.
Stronger than orcs? You mean orcs' new ability? Wink, wink. Fair enough, Garwin. Fair enough. All right. Did you want to see a dragon?
Let's see a dragon.
Let's see a dragon. Ah, yes. Dragons are indeed being requested.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, that works then, doesn't it?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's start with a smaller, weaker dragon, like a wormling. That way we can see how it goes. So let's start with the wormling. So 84 hit points. It gets bloodied. Recharges breath.
Yeah.
Free roll, baby. I love it.
Yep. Young Silver Dragon.
Charges breath, weapon ability is recharged.
And then gets a new ability.
New ability, bite back. While bloodied, if a creature misses the dragon with a melee attack, it can use its reaction to make a bite against the creature. It's like you missed.
Oh, that's good. What do we got here, Ian?
Protector of the Small.
Ooh.
While bloodied, the dragon can protect a smaller creature within 10 feet of it from an attack that would hit it. As a reaction, the silver dragon can add 4 to a medium or smaller creature's AC against 1 weapon attack that would hit it. Note how it says weapon attack. To do so, the dragon must be able to see the attacker and be able to move.
I like this. And then we've got, so another thing that we talked about, she added some new stuff. Some of the monsters have triggered abilities, right? So it's something that happens when a specific condition is met. This is when it's bloodied, but only that one time, right? So when first bloodied, the dragon can use its reaction to make a claw attack against a creature within range. So it can only get it once. And there's a lot of different varieties of triggers that are pretty good. And obviously these sorts of abilities kind of scale. Fling is a popular one I've seen among the bigger dragons, where they can just replace their claw with fling and start tossing the player characters in all directions, which I think is just awesome and on point. And looks like they also get one called Heavy Steps. So while bloodied, a dragon moves at least 20 feet. It doesn't leave the ground and doesn't leave the ground. It can replace its bite with Heavy Step attack. Basically, it's trampling you. Can potentially knock you prone and some stuff like that. Looks like we got another one asking about oozes before we move on. We'll do one more.
2 for oozes.
We'll do some oozes here.
I saw there was 3 from what I was looking at.
Flesh golems, hellhounds. Hellhound was a cool one too.
Revenant was very fun too.
What one?
Revenant. We did touch on Grey Ooze earlier.
Did we did touch on the news, didn't we? We can see.
One.
Let's go to the legendary gelatinous one, huh?
The gelatinous cube.
Wouldn't that be on a G?
Oh, how did I get to S already?
Nope, it's under O where it oozes.
Oh,
No,
really?
I know. Oh, the gelatinous cubist?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she categorized them.
Yep. The gelatinous cube. When bloodied at 22 hit points, it gains the following features. Well, once again, bludgeoning resistance. Well, bloodied resistance to bludgeoning damage.
So what other features does the gelatinous cube have without that, I guess? Because resistance
It has
is
that acidic ability or whatever it is.
Yeah.
right. So yeah, it basically it just gives it resistance to bludgeoning, which means it can't be beaten to death.
Yep.
By more mundane ways, which is fine. I would say of the ones I've seen, this one's probably the least exciting, but it's still on theme.
No, how it says bludgeoning damage, not
Piercing or slashing.
No. Just says bludgeoning, period. So even if you're using a magical weapon.
Oh, it doesn't say non-magical.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Let's say the black pudding ooze, gelatinous cube, they both have the same.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. The
So
gray ooze.
Gray ooze had the
they're
same.
all, the ochre jelly is different. No, it's not. So that's a pretty standard one across those that theme of monster, I think.
Yep.
So it looks like we're just about out of time here.
For the main topic, at
for
least.
our main topic, at least, before we move on to bringing you some under tips and tricks.
Sexy.
Overall, what is your guys' thoughts and feelings about this?
I like it. More fun combat.
And that's something that really just makes the game better. Now, it is worth noting that this will make the combat a little more challenging to run as the dungeon master because you're going to have more things to pay attention to. So just keep that in mind.
Grace Lad.
But overall, I'm really impressed by this. I like the layout. I like the artwork. The features are definitely a lot of fun. Some of them are really complex, while there's a little more simplistic. But I think that it fits.
Zombie.
Like zombie. We got to talk about zombie for a second. So it has new ability, sluggish bolting. Those kind of don't fit. So when bloodied, there's a 75% chance the zombie becomes sluggish, and there's a 25% chance that it becomes bolting. If it becomes sluggish, it moves slower. But if it becomes bolting, it can take the dash action as a bonus. Can you imagine a random zombie just starts dashing around after everybody?
As written, couldn't have both at the same time.
Well, you only get bloodied once, right?
All right.
So it says while you're bloodied, you only have one of these.
So someone mixed Dawn of the Dead zombies with World War Z.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of going. I like that. But because it's random, if you got a pack of these zombies, like 10 of them, they're all going to behave differently. And it's going to be random. They might all be really fast. They might be all really slow. Even the DM won't know because it's random. Though obviously 75% chance it's more likely to become slower.
Yeah.
But all right. Let me get this out of the way here. And get our live stream back up here. Let's pop this out. Close that up there.
Jerry found the cocaine.
Bring forth the sentient dagger, lube.
Zombies had trash stars too.
All right, so I think that will do it for our main topic today. I have to get my notes up.
Is it notes?
Here, there are show notes. Before we move on to our under tips and tricks, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Ho, 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 gentlemen. The holidays came early here at Crit Academy thanks to Manscaped. Oh.
Wow.
Stupid Grammarly closed. The leading men's hygiene brand, Manscaped, just launched new products, including their all-new ultra premium body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. It's time to give yourself or someone who needs it the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code CRIT for 20% off and free shipping.
Manscaped is going beyond the groin with their new premium body wash. It's infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, fresh, and moisturized.
Aloe vera.
I guess you would need the aloe vera to offset the sea salt. They are also just launched a new 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, which has key ingredient benefits that include hydrating, nourishing, and conditioning the scalp, and strengthening your hair at the same time.
Okay. Untrimmed puebes are a thing of the past, and it's possible you have Santa's beard in your pants. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the signature lawnmower, TM 4.0, trademark. This electric trimmer has proprietary. I can't fucking read.
This is the
Proprietary
American educational system hard at work, fellas, ladies, people.
advanced skin safe, TM. Technology to reduce cuts on your nuts.
Reduce cuts on your reduce. You get a slur there. Reduce.
Reduce?
That's what you said.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Of course, you gave that packet to the Navy guy.
That's funny.
Do
So,
not read. Oh,
no, dude, it says. Come on now.
I failed.
Roll a nat 20 this holiday gift giving season and get 20% off and free shipping with promo code CRIT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. I feel like an infomercial. I guess that's why they do it that way. That's 20% off with your free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code CRIT. Clean up your Dyson satchel and make Santa proud this year.
That's right. Crit Academy's selling out.
We got to pay the bills, man. Oh, man. Can I just say I love this thing? I have not had any issues since I picked her up. Picked it up.
Face palms
Her up.
Face palms.
I prefer to use it on my face, and it's kept my beard going pretty good. What was that?
I don't know. Garwin's. Garwin says, will admit these fluffs are fluff ups are what I love about the show. Thank you. Oh, that's funny.
You used to be a lot more tangenty. We would go off on tangents all the time.
Yeah, that's why the show is now 1 hour instead of, more. Future Manscaped bit. Nobody wants to floss with pubes. Keep your significant other happy with Manscaped. Oh, I love it. Let's save that for later.